all this interest rate madness had an impact.
Yeah, because my question for you was, if somebody has a 3% interest rate home that they locked in 2021, 2020, kind of what do they do with that if they're trying to move now? Because obviously if you sell it, you make some quick money, but then you got to put more into the loan for the interest rate and stuff like that. And the story I had was back in 2021, I had the opportunity to buy the car that I'd previously leased. And at the time, this is when the COVID bonanza was still going crazy and they were buying used cars for more than new cars. So at that point, I could buy the car out for $12,000, but the value of it was $20,000. So the dealership was trying to buy it from me. But the caveat was, if I sell this, make some quick money, then I got to spend it on a new car somehow, some way. And that's definitely not going to be cheap.
You know, that's very interesting you say that, because the Biz Doc babe, she has a SUV, but we bought it. But she had a friend whose husband told us the same story at dinner one night. He said, hey, I went back to and by the way, this is Mercedes. So this wasn't like, this wasn't Shady Jack's car leasing. This is your Mercedes National Leasing. And they went in there at the end of the lease. They were under on the mileage a little bit. And the car's in great shape. These people take care of their cars. And the guy said, he said, I want to know what my purchase is. And they said, well, your purchase is actually a little lower than we predicted for you, but I'll give you $7,000 more than that. In other words, they ran the inspection. They were under on the mileage. You know, you have a maximum mileage on a lease, number one. No dings, no chips, no nothing. Tire is good, and they had always brought it to that dealership for its maintenance. So that's a straight A report card. So that dealer wanted that car and said, hey, used cars are so crazy. I'll pay you $7,000 more than what it is the lease buyout option, where you can buy out your car, $7,000. And he said, really? Well, what's the rate on a similar vehicle, which is now 3 years newer, yeah, from a 19 to a 22, 2019 turned into 22. Oh, yeah, so because they were paying a lease was like $850, $850 range. You know what it was? $1,100. Yeah. So here's $7,000, but you got to put up another $1,100 for the next 36 months. And I said, you know, that's only $200 a month for 36. That's $7,200. Wait a minute, it's the same number. Yeah. So the $7,000 that they give you, you're going to give back to them a little bit. So you know what he did? Bought the car. Yep. He bought the car, and you know, as he was buying the car, the dealership manager came in and said, hey, I've got another one that came in off of a 2-year lease that you could actually buy for a different number, but they blew through the top, almost had 30,000 miles on it. So it blew through the top, and whoever turned in that lease, you know, that lease there, it probably cost them $6,000 to turn in the car, because if you're that far over on mileage, it's like mileage times 15 cents. Yeah. That's a lot of money. It's like, you know, it's $15 per 100, and you're thousands of miles over, all of a sudden you owe them thousands of dollars. So it's kind of crazy. But he said, nope, I'm just buying it at the end of the lease. So she loved the car, they took good care of it, and now they still have it. But isn't that interesting what's going on? It's like, you got to be careful, you have to be savvy about this stuff. Yeah. And so what did you do? So I remember when I first leased the car, I wasn't sure how long I'd be staying, kind of what the situation was, and I figured that'd be the better option to do. But people always typically say that leasing is more expensive. But in this case, it ended up being the best situation because I was locked into an earlier interest rate and an earlier price. So I ended up buying out the car, and it was probably the smartest thing I've done. Yep. So you bought it from the dealer? Yes, sir. Smart. Right after leasing it. And I also knew then at that point what the car's been through, what it's been like maintenance-wise and everything. So did they do an inspection? They did not, because I bought it at the time from a Texas dealership when I moved out here. So, Got it. So I didn't have to ship it back, luckily. So they didn't find that bikini top under the back seat? They did not, no. Got it. Which is good. And then they obviously wanted to know, where's the woman who's running around without the bikini top? That's a mystery to be unknown. Yeah, well, but you didn't have the car inspected. But you got the car. Right on. There you go.